Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you a few functional breathing exercises that's going to train our chest and our abs. So I'll go ahead and begin. So starting off in the chair here, I'm going to show you a few things you can do just seated in the chair. So one thing I like to do is, first thing is to get the blood to flow. So before we do any kind of training, we need to get the blood to flow. So that way when we up the intensity, we've got enough blood circulation going through our body, and we're able to get a lot more mobility in there too. We're not feeling stiff and tight in the muscles. So let's go ahead and do a few shoulder retractions to open up and stretch the chest muscles here. And relax back in. Shoulders track back. Relax back in. And now that we do that, got the loose there, then we're going to go ahead and move our arms. Now, one thing I want us to take note of is our core positioning. So notice how I'm not slouched over like this. I want to keep my core straight up. And when I inhale, I want to inhale through the diaphragm because it's going to allow me to have more stability. So I'm going to turn to the side, inhale through the diaphragm. This way, if I inhale through the belly, this way, I'm a lot looser and not as protected and stable in my area. So since I'm trying to prime myself to do some resistance training work here, I want to be tall and stable in the front. So inhaling through the diaphragm and then contract. And notice how when I inhale and exhale, my chest stays the same height. It's not going down. So, and all that means is that my core is contracting with my diaphragm still elevated up and through the chest cavity somewhat. But of course, on exhale, when you lower, you know, it's going to lower naturally, but the abdominals, they stay contracted, which holds everything still up. Because if I was to inhale and exhale and let my belly fall through, my shoulders drop just a little more than I would if I was to inhale and keep the diaphragm there. My shoulders don't fall as much. So nice little tip there. So we're going to go ahead and get good stable position with the diaphragm and the lungs and the muscles around the thoracic area. And now we're going to go out, stretch the chest out and back in. I'm going to go ahead and go to the side here, go out, back in. So you should feel, you know, work going through the arms. You're going back, you're stretching the biceps out, and then work going through the chest. And notice how the sound gets quieter because I'm not going as forceful with my breathing. And that is crucial to make sure that you're not hyperventilating or hypoventilating, which means you're taking in too much oxygen, which can cause lightheadedness. So when you're doing breathing and breath work, you got to make sure that you regulate that speed appropriately, because that's going to help to keep a proper pH balance inside of the body, and it's going to help you to avoid being lightheaded and things like that. So when we're doing breath work and training, you should feel a lot more blood circulating through the chest after doing these abdominal exercises. So chest contraction, and then we're automatically working the abdominals here up top. So I'm going to move up so you can see a little closer. So inhale. And that's all of what I'm doing in the chair. I'm just doing that work there. Hold on. So with this, so you can see it more visually. Notice how the belly stays lifted up. The whole time, so I got consistent support here. And I'm keeping this lower portion contracted. So that way I have consistent support there. And another thing that you should notice is I'm doing nasal breathing here. And you can also switch up from nasal to oral, so nasal and exhale through the mouth that way. So when we're doing this work, add the movement into it. We're going nasal for 2. Inhale, going with the arms out. Exhale, going with the arms in. Keeping the lower abdominal activated and keeping everything lifted. Hold on. Now, 2 there for a forceful exhale. Now, watch how my breathing gets quieter when I go with a lighter, less forceful exhale and inhale. And all of that with the force of the breath, regulating that, and with the depth of the breath, that's also going to affect your nervous system, obviously, because of course, you know, it affects the brain. So that's going to affect your experience with the training session here. So the experience that we want to go for with this is a more stable, energized, alert, focal training point. So we're going to go with a few quick exhales, and we're going to put a lot of emphasis in on muscle engagement. We want everything to be engaged and contract. So we're going to go inhale, exhale, engaged in. And so that squeeze, it circulates more blood flow, which helps get everything going, and it increases more alertness and focus and energy and concentration inside the body. So that's one movement there with the open arm, closed arm, chest movement there. Let's see, what's the other thing? And one thing I noticed too is that after you do this for a while, your shoulders can get a little fatigued and tired. Even though we've been working our core, and our core can also get fatigued and tired from being upright in that position. For a prolonged period of time. So to have a good balance in between work to rest ratio, after we do all of that, now we're going to go ahead and do an expensive chest stretch exercise. So I have a chair that has a back on it. If you don't have a backing on your chair, you can just simply bring your arms back this way and move the chest and everything back. Now with me, since I have a backing on my chair, I'm just going to go have my arms back and lay back on it. And just let the abdominal stretch out in the middle. All right. So that does it for that. Let's see, what's the next one here? Okay, the next one that we'll do here is going to be standing. So we did seated. We're going to go with that same motion and movement, working the same breathing technique here. So we're going to go inhale, hold, exhale. But watch how when I do the inhale, hold, exhale, the belly does not drop. It stays lifted and activated. That means the core is activated at all times. And then we'll relax. Allow the belly to go through. So that's that there. Let's see. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do it standing. So let me go ahead and move this out the way here real quick. Let's see, I'm gonna put it over here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do this standing. So we're going to go do the same thing here. And this time, since we're not seated, or we have something supporting where the hips are in counter-notated position, or hips are thrust in, activated this way automatically, we've got to make sure we engage the hips. So we go in this way, so the hips are in that way, and then we're going to go inhale, hold, and then bring the shoulders out. Now on my breathing cue, we're going to go inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, and then relax this way. Relax the belly, everything relax. Now we're going to go back with the same motion again, but this time what we're going to do, we're going to do it in phases. We're going to do it in, break down the range of motion inside of the inhale, exhale with this. So we're going to go inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Good stuff there. The head should feel calm and relaxed, but also energetic and focused. So not too much. It should feel just right when you're doing this stuff. So there we go there on that. Now I've been doing a lot of nasal. So let's go ahead and do nasal oral now with this. So we're going to go inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Now we're going to switch it up. And this time what we're going to do with this same position, in the standing position, I'm going to go step back a little bit here. Let's see if I can get this camera to come a little more to where I can get my feet here. All right, so got my feet in here. So I'm going to come out this way, got my feet shoulder width apart, and we're just going to go and do a downward turn this way. Step up a little more so I have enough room to turn. Okay, so I'm going to go out, I'm going to inhale, hold, exhale down. Now, if the nasal is a little too much, the beginners, I should have said this at the beginning, but the beginners functional breathing technique is to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. That's, from my experience, that's been the most comfortable and best way to do things when you're practicing proper functional breathing, because research has shown out here, and all the other professionals that I've been able to do research on and things like that have noticed that our nasal breathing is key to having optimal functioning in our body throughout our daily, lives. So if we can learn how to breathe through the nose more and avoid oil breathing, we're going to have a better functioning with our nervous system and everything else. So we're going to go ahead and do nasal inhale and oral exhale. It's okay to exhale out the mouth when you are doing an activity, but if you're at rest, of course, you want to try to just do nasal. When you're doing an activity, you can do nasal oral or nasal, depending on what's more comfortable for you. So in this one, we're going to go ahead and practice the nasal oral. So we're going to go inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, coming back up slow, and exhale out. Notice how that changed the nervous system there. When we came back up slow, it slowed everything down, and guess what happened? Our nervous system ended up adjusting to the movement in the breath. And we've just been able to achieve coherence with that. So when we got our breathing, our movement matching everything, that experience that we feel is just phenomenal. So we're going to go ahead and do this again. Go inhale. I'm going to pick a moderate pace, and we're going to vary it up because that's where the magic is when it comes to achieving coherence with everything. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale back up again. Make sure you're exhaling through the mouth so it can be better for you. Then back up real slow. All right. So that's it there. That's a good wake up for the shoulders. It helps to strengthen up those shoulders, work the endurance of the shoulders. But you also got great core work there because you're going into the cross-sectional area of the fascia line. So that little thing that makes an X there, you're going into more of that. So those are all the movements that I'm just looking at my time there on my camera. That's all I'm doing when I get up close that way. But those are all the movements that that I have for right now in this video. And I'll have more to come in the future. My plan for this space that I have here is to put up some charts to go back here in this area. I'm hoping that you guys will be able to see that really well and get to the detail. I will see and test it out on the camera here before I display those charts there. So we'll see what works and things like that. If I have to, then I'll just have to move the poster closer to the camera so you guys can see it. So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna test run all those things there and see what's gonna work best. But I definitely want to bring some charts in here, some posters, so you guys can get more in-depth knowledge of what I'm doing and why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm also going to have a respiratorial chart to come in here that's going to showcase more of the anatomy of the diaphragm and our nasal passageway. So that way you guys will know why to inhale through the nose and why to avoid inhaling through the mouth and things like that. So yeah, I want to bring more to you on this, and I plan to use a lot more of this space, and it'd be a benefit to you guys. So if you guys like all of that and you want more information, feel free to check out my website, wealthywellness.com, and you'll learn more about me and how you can work with me. So I look forward to making you more videos, and I hope you all have a very well day.